Welcome to the RSP Boiler Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. Today we're going to take a look at SMU wide receiver Courtland Sutton. He is a rising junior who decided to stay in school after considering the NFL draft last year. He's a convert from safety. He's got that 6'4", 215-pound frame that could probably add another 10 pounds. Certainly has enough speed in the open field. He can get deep, get behind defenders. He can go up and win the ball in the air. There's a lot to like about him as an athlete. But even this play here, which, we're not going to slow down, but when you look at it a little closer, you may see a little bit of hint of what we're going to talk about today, which is hand position and tracking the football. The first is this hitch against TCU last year. It's a simple play. He's got a defender playing far enough off that he's going to get a nice little turn and be open underneath. And when the ball arrives, watch it just go through his hands. Now, when we look at this a little bit closer, it's not a concentration issue. It's a technique issue. See where his hands are? They are on either side of the ball. This is not good technique for a pass catcher. When you have the ball over your head, or really even at chest level and above, you want to extend your arms to the ball, and you want your palms facing the ball so that your fingers are outstretched and are in a position to catch the point of the ball. Where Sutton has his hands are on either side, and he's trying to clap his hands around each side of the ball. That's a surefire way of letting this ball pass right through your palms and fingertips, especially when you see that there's a little bit of a gap between the ball and his right hand, but his left hand is already touching it. The reason, again, is if the palms were forward, he could get both hands to meet the tip of the ball, as opposed to one hand touching the ball and the other being late to clap it over. And as a result of that, the ball just passes right through. Let's watch it one more time here. See what I'm saying? When the hands go up like this, look how far apart they are. If he had his hands facing the ball, he could go up with his hands closer together, and they could meet the oncoming ball rather than trying to clap it and miss it. But even when he does bring his palms forward to meet the ball on targets that are above his head, the tracking isn't consistent. He has his hands in good position. They were at the shoulder of the defender on this fade, so he can get his arms up. But look how wide the hands are coming out and then coming to meet together. And you can see that as the ball arrives, he's unable to really get it in position to where he can catch with his fingertips. Ball strikes his palm, and you can see also they're still too far apart. So the ball strikes the palm of the right hand. The left hand isn't on the ball at all. The ball needs to meet both hands, so his hands need to be tighter together. They weren't on this play, and this is what causes him to fight the ball. See how far that right hand ranges outward and the left arm doesn't go with it? While I like the palms out, only one palm's out. This one's not. They're not close enough together. He ends up having the ball bounce off his hands. He has to try and pull it down, and he has no shot of being able to get his foot in bounds, especially if he's trying to fight a ball and he's focused on it in that level. Now, I don't think he would have caught it in bounds anyhow, based on the position that he had. But this is the second play we've seen where he's unable to get his hands in the correct position. Here's play number 3. This one's going to be working across the field, and it's a drop, and we're going to watch this closer to the action in slow. Watch. The The first hand that makes contact with the ball, again, the right hand. The left hand isn't anywhere close to the ball. He tries to clap it onto the ball. And as a result of that, he's already fighting it before number 2 comes in and slaps his hand on it. So while number 2 makes a nice play with his hand position to slap down on the right arm, Sutton could have had better control of this if A, he extends his arms further and makes the attempt at the catch further away from his frame. And second, if he has his hands closer together to meet the tip of the ball, rather than trying to clap it like he did right there. Catching the ball needs to be instant. There shouldn't be initial contact, fighting to secure it, and then trying to retract the ball into the body. That's a 3-step process, sometimes more. Should be a 2-step process, because that second step in between that he's having to make because he can't have good technique is going to allow a lot of defenders in zone or in tight coverage to make plays on him where they can knock the ball loose, and it's not going to make him a reliable target regardless of his size and his speed and his leaping ability if he doesn't improve this before he gets into the league. I think one of the issues that Sutton may have is ball tracking. I don't think he sees the ball as clearly as he needs to. See how he kind of brings that ball in, he kind of juggles it a little bit. It's not a juggle as much as is a shift. It's not secure right away. And when you see his hand position again, he's got one hand underneath the ball, one hand over the top. He's not meeting the ball with his hands in a web-like pattern, either with the palms up or the palms out. And because of the fact that he's in a position where it's not uniform, this is not uniform, one high, one low, it's not consistent, he's clapping down on the ball, means that there's a little bit of a shift before he can pull the ball in. If a defender were closer or able to get contact, probably knocks this ball loose again. Now I like that Sutton comes back to the quarterback here on the scramble play a little bit, and you certainly like his size, but even on a good play, you can see the technique needs a lot of refinement. Here's another play with some positives. You're going to see him on this out, drag his foot when he catches the ball. Watch this drag right there. Nicely done on a boundary play. Gotta like that. But again, look at the hands technique. It looks like it's going to be correct. Looks like he's going to bring both hands up with the palms out to meet the target. But then he just has one high with the palm out and one with the palm up. It's inconsistent technique. He's clapping the ball again. Fortunately, this time he doesn't have to shift the ball too much. But if he did, with this type of technique, which he's had to so far on multiple plays, it could be the difference between him making this grab and an official saying that he never had control of the football. So again, it's these little things that make a difference between being a top athlete in college football and a great NFL prospect in some people's eyes and being a good starting NFL receiver. He's not there yet. Not at least by his sophomore tape. We'll see what he does next year. And you know, some people may say, oh, it's just one game, Matt. I mean, he had a bad day, or he had this going on, or he had that going on. Well, let's take a look at another game. Let's look at him against Baylor. And there's another drop. First quarter of this game. Let's watch it in slow motion. And let's see what that hand position looks like. I can't tell you for sure, but I think that ball tracking may be an issue, and that's why A, his hands aren't in the right spot, and B, that he doesn't always extend fully. This is one play where he does, but you can see the hands aren't close enough together. Looks like he's got a little bit of an underhand technique possibly with one of it, and he's trying to pull the ball in rather than meet the ball. you're trying to clap on the ball like that in tight coverage, the timing's always going to be tough, and then you have contact after that. Let's look at one last play, and you're going to see here again, one palm up, one palm down. Now it's a nice catch, but you could see how the way that he has that intermediate step between contact with the ball and pulling it in, that it could appear like he's fighting the ball at times. Now I like the position there, the use of the arms, he's willing to get physical, but see how he's got that bottom palm up and the top palm out. Not consistent. He's only catching it with the right hand. As you notice, a lot of these plays, the right hand is always the first one to make contact. It's like that left hand's like a lazy eye or a lazy arm, you know. It just kind of droops there. Doesn't completely do the job. And it makes his job a little harder. It's a nice play. But again, these are the types of plays that he can get away with at SMU. He's not going to get away with these plays in the pro game on a consistent basis if he's going to be a top-end wide receiver for a team. Thanks again for watching.